This is the entrance to Chantilly Ranch. I'm going to turn us around and give you a tour. So here's our driveway coming in. We've got the gate behind us, and that will close when I come in. And then we've got our driveway in here. Over to the right, we've got oak forest, rolling grassy hills with small oaks. And then as we come in, so this is what we're calling the meadow, and it's got to be one of my favorite places on the property. This is irrigated, obviously. We can see the sprinklers. It's also fed with the little stream that comes through here. It's fresh water, year-round flowing water, which is really wonderful. And our vision for this spot, well, right now it's kind of hosting our parking area. It is eventually going to be our event center and location where we're able to do weddings and whatever else it is that people are interested in. We haven't completely nailed down what type of events, and I don't think we need to. I think we can leave it open and see what people are interested in. I do think that weddings here is a beautiful location, and I love the idea of celebrating love on our land. I think it's fantastic. So this is our meadow. This is one of the little plateaus that we've got here on property. As we came in, we took the road down from the gate, and on our left-hand side was all of this oak forest. Like I said, these are not really tall oak trees, but they've been here for a while, and they are absolutely stunning. And then we've got this little meadow. Now I'm going to go across the meadow and go to where I think is probably the location for weddings. There's 3 trees in the back there that I just think are gorgeous and would be a great backdrop for weddings. So let's see if we can miss the sprinklers. A little stop over here at the pond. This is our resident pond, complete with fish and bullfrogs and all the other things that go with the pond. It's pretty deep there out in the middle. I've gotten out there where I can't touch, and the kids love to play in it. I've got a little floaty here, which is awesome. Just go sit out there when it's 102 degrees and float around. It's just very, very peaceful. Brody loves it. It's got a little dam over here that keeps the water there in this area. So this is where I feel like the best place for weddings would be, these 3 trees right here. Lined up, there's actually 4, but the 3 that are in the front I think would be a good altar for a wedding. And the backdrop is stunning, and I believe that people would feel comfortable sitting out here. There's my 3 trees, and I feel like, you know, groom stands up there, bride walks down this way to meet groom, or groom and groom, or bride and bride, I don't really care. And then as they turn around, the guests would be seated behind here in the meadow. What do you think, Freddie? Good plan? I mean, it's just gorgeous. So this is where I think that the weddings ought to be. On the other hand, if someone has a different vision, I mean, it doesn't bother me. Maybe they want to use the pond as the backdrop, or the little waterfall, or I don't know. Remains to be seen. That is a dog living his best life right there. Hi, Birdie. Alright, I'm coming back to my vehicle over here so we can move on with the tour. There's a lot of space here at Chantilly Ranch, and there's a lot of different little scenes, vignettes, whatever you would call it, locations, climates even. This area down here in where it's irrigated is much cooler. I mean, it's probably 10 to 15 degrees cooler than the other areas that are up further. So let's go and take a look at those. One of my favorite pathways, right up through here, this little red dirt road here, through the oaks. Another plateau area. We're probably gained elevation by, I don't know, a few hundred feet. And this is the area that we are calling the arena. Obviously it's not an arena at the moment, but this is kind of the vision where we'll be able to have our horses and barns and potentially other livestock. Maybe if we are kidding out goats or lambing out ewes, we would have a spot for them to come in up here. We'd have to build a barn for them. So this is, you know, a little bigger oak forest here. And plateau. As it stands now, this is an old cannabis grow that the previous owner had, and all this is going to go. All the stakes, all the bags, all the soil he's going to come in and take it. If he doesn't, then I suppose we'll have something that we can do with it, but we don't intend to grow, and it'll all get gone. Now this area will probably end up being stables or part of the arena. Both Lachlan and myself would really like a big arena, and this flat area, it's going to need a little bit of grading, but for the most part, this flat area, it's about 250 feet by 250 feet, so that gives me a good size, competition size arena for kind of whatever we're dealing with. Even if we want to do roping, even if we want to do reining or work reined cow horse or whatever it is that we're doing, we'll have plenty of space to do here. And this is probably the largest, most flat, most level area. And the difference between the temperature up here and down in the meadow, it's probably 7 to 8 degrees warmer up here. But the more water we put on the ground, the cooler it gets. You can feel it. It's especially at night when you're up at the top and you come down, you can feel the temperature change. It's really quite spectacular. All right, let's go up to the top so we can see the whole property. Stop here and do a 360, because once we get over the little hill here, you won't be able to see what's behind us. You can hear the hawks yelling at each other. So within this tree line, this is all our property. Obviously there's a peak over there, a couple peaks over there that are well beyond our property line, but within this tree line is our property. And there goes one of the hawks. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. It's coming around. I think those are Cooper's hawks. I stand to be proven wrong though. I love listening to the birds. It's one of my favorite things. And if you just sit and listen, you really can learn a lot about what's going on. There we go. This is our resident retired performance horse. He was Lachlan's ride when she was doing gymkhana and barrel racing and really learning how to ride. This horse is kind of responsible for Lachlan's success in terms of teaching her to have a good seat. She just really did fantastic with this horse. And now, Brody, leave it. Leave him. So now Louis gets to spend his days retired, hanging out up here. Hopefully not being chased by Brody too much. Brody, here. Go, come on. Leave him alone. Good boy. Louis loves to hang out up here in the high country. One of my favorite places to just kind of hang out and take it all in. It's really awe-inspiring. This is our northmost fence, and obviously on the other side of the fence doesn't belong to us, but nobody can take that view. Pretty amazing. So we're going to be making sure that we're good neighbors on this land and not allowing it to become too much of a fire hazard. I mean, it's not something we can completely abate, but we can certainly work on it and make sure that we're being good neighbors and not allowing the undergrowth to be too high, not allowing dead trees to stand, etc., and really maintaining the landscape. I think it's kind of hit or miss out here whether the owners are maintaining their land. I mean, you can kind of see around us, our land is pretty well manicured. I mean, obviously it's wild, but it's not running rampant. Like, for example, up here behind, there's a lot of growth up in there, and I have not seen anybody graze it. I haven't seen anything done with this area here. It worries me a little bit. I don't know. Maybe we'll seek out a grazing lease or something and try to get that knocked down. You can see that our area, because of what the previous owner was doing, he had highland cattle here with access to all 40 acres. We're going to change that a little bit, and we're going to work on rotational grazing, either with including the highland cattle or exchanging hopefully our goat and sheep herd. It just is a matter of seeking out those animals. I've been looking for a starter herd of goats because we do have a lot of browsing material, and I'm just trying to decide what is the right route to go. Do I want show quality? I know I want meat quality, and there's lots of options. Boer goats, Kiko goats, those seem to be the two breeds that keep coming up. There's a woodpecker here. I'm thinking we're probably going to end up with Boer, but maybe at some point cross with Kiko. We have to see how those individual animals deal with the predator pressure out here, and being potentially out here without a human for at least a night. Most of us, mom and dad, are here, or I'm here most of the time, but not all the time. So it's possible that goats and or sheep could experience predator pressure without us here. So we're working to try to find multiple solutions to mitigate our losses. Obviously nobody wants to come to find losses. So I'm looking at, right now the highland cattle are in their own little rotational grazing pattern. We've put them into a pattern that will help us clear some area underneath the oak forest, and I'll take you through there. And they're doing a really good job of clearing the brush, which is fantastic. And I think that if we include goats in the mix, maybe not necessarily grazing in the exact same pasture, but close to the cattle, then it's possible that the cattle will become a bit of a deterrent for the predators that might seek out the goats. So hopefully that will help. We plan to put lights on at night on timers. We plan to play a radio at night. We're definitely looking at getting a livestock guardian dog, or a couple even, but we have to grow things kind of slowly, and we have to see where each animal is going to fit in. You can't just grab a livestock guardian dog and assume that and expect them to come into your herd and take care of them. They have to be trained, and so that is definitely an issue that we're facing. How do you feed them? How do you water them, etc.? And how do you feed them is different with goats versus sheep versus cattle versus whatever livestock you're looking for. How you feed the livestock guardian dogs is different. There's a different setup for each. Our exterior perimeter is 5-strand barbed wire. I'll show you. So we're 5-strand barbed wire. So any dog can go right through that and not be held in at all. Same thing with predators. 5-strand barbed wire does nothing to deter coyote, bobcat, certainly not mountain lion. And those are the predators that we have up here. So we have to think about how we're going to keep our livestock safe. The Highland cattle that are here don't have a problem with any of it because they're large, they're big. If we were to install goats, they're going to have a problem. Sheep definitely would have a problem. They have no way to defend themselves. They're just there on a platter. And anything smaller than that, chicken, duck, turkey, would definitely need to have barriers to ensure their safety. So we're working on it. It's the plan here is to deal with fire abatement in a way that is creating product. So that would be meat product with animals, and we want it to be able to be sold. I've got to find a USDA certified slaughterhouse, and that's going to be one of the bottleneck issues that we're facing. So we will grow goats, we will grow sheep potentially. I don't think that the Highland cattle are really part of our plan. They are right now because they're still here, and I expect the previous owner to take them and, I don't know, do whatever he wants to do with them. For the moment, we're using them in a rotational grazing pattern. If he chooses to leave them, then we will include them in our total plan. So right now it's just kind of a wait and see game. So let's finish up this tour and get you to some of the other locations. Here we go. we're back down at the arena area. We came in over there and we were looking up this direction. So we're back here, and now I'm going to come down back to the meadow on a different little pathway here. Stop here for the shade here for a moment. So this little oak forest area here that we've got, this is what we're going to call pasture number 1, where we've got the Highland cattle. They're actually in here. You can see the poly braid wire here. It's 2-strand and it keeps them in beautifully. They're very broke to it. They don't test it at all, and it's wonderful. The oak forest used to look more like this, where you really couldn't see through it, and the undergrowth was quite heavy and just kind of waiting for a match. And now the cattle have come through and are definitely eating some of it, eating about 1/3 of it, knocking about 1/3 of it down, and then we'll leave about 1/3 of it in there to go to seed and regenerate for next season. So this is the beginning area of where the cattle are. So let's go down and go in. Just another quick little view of the meadow here as we come down. Like I said, it's kind of our parking lot for the moment. It will change, and it will not be. That will be our event center. Give you some reference, directly behind me is the entrance. So that's the path that we came down and then turned to look at the meadow. And so this is the opposite side. And the creek comes in from over here. Lots of blackberry bushes over there. And now we're looking at pasture number 1 for the Highland cows. There's 4 cows, 3 babies, and a bull. I think that's right. We do have 1 male baby, so we're going to have to make sure that when it comes to maturity, it's not breeding back to its mother, so we'll have to do something there. If the cattle belong to us, then we'll have to take care of it. Otherwise, the previous owner will take care of it. So what I did was I just dropped this electric gate onto the ground. It is hot. But the cattle will kind of just stay put. So I'm going to go do a quick tour of their enclosure, and then I'll close that gate. Hopefully they don't run out. So that is the forest area that we were looking at from the other side. And it extends all along here. So they've got forest on either side. There they are right now. Resting in the lovely shade. Browsing, grazing, mostly grazing. The one in the back laying down, the lighter color one there. This is the bull. Let's take a look. So they're in this part of the little forest area that they have. Locking it down, keeping it nice and dry. Or not dry, nice and clean. You see the little baby there? That's his son. That might be a girl, I can't remember. There's Brody. Hey, come here. Leave him. Come on, Brody. Brody, being the McNabb that he is, he loves to chase cattle. No surprise there. But he's been doing pretty good listening. So this is the fence that we built, my dad and I built. It has a gate in it right there. You can take it down and go further on out there, but that is no longer the cattle pasture. Right now, the pasture consists of from about here all the way down back to the gate that we came in, all through these forests, this oak forest here, and then around the backside here. So we're calling this area the parking lot. This is where I believe that once we have events, we'll be able to direct people to come and park here, and then they can walk into the event depending on where they're going. Now, I think that this area right here also needs to be a glamping location. I want to buy bell tents and install them in here so that people can come and stay on the premises during events or farm tours or whatever it is. I want to give them a chance to stay here. Let's go back and look. I think the vision for this place is drive in, be able to come and park down here, and then just walk up into your bell tent. I would love to be able to put a number of bell tents in here and have this be one of our glamping campgrounds. And it's quite beautiful, and the cows have done a fabulous job of making sure that this undergrowth in here has been knocked down. It's quite different in the areas where the cows haven't had access to, and when we have goats, it'll be even more cleared out because the goats will browse. They'll stand up and eat the smaller sticks and things and clear it out even better. But I think this would be a fabulous site for the public to be able to come and visit us. I think that having access to a place like this, it's almost, for me, it's almost an obligation to be able to share it. I think that the country is one of the most beautiful places to be, and I think that a lot of people don't get access to it because they don't know how to come out to it. And I would like to have Chantilly Ranch be a place where people can come and experience what the country's like, in all its forms. I mean, it's beautiful. It can be quite harsh as well. But that's something that the general public, I think, needs to understand, that the ranchers who are doing this very important job of providing food are doing it in conditions that I think most people can't handle. It's hot, or it's cold, or it's very dry, or it's very wet. Sometimes it's snowy, not in California so much. So we got it pretty easy here. But being out here in these conditions, it's definitely something that you have to prepare for. You have to recognize that you're not top of the food chain necessarily out here. And I don't necessarily mean mountain lions, and nothing's jumping out of the trees trying to kill us. Not usually. But just nature itself. You know, it's hot, it's dry. These are things that we have to prepare for. If we don't, it'll get us for sure. But the beauty that's out here is just unbelievable. And I think that the public needs to be able to see it. And I want to have Chantilly Ranch be a place where we can open up the gates and let people come. I think it's important. All right, let's go out of here and go down by the meadow again, because there's another location that I want to show. So we're on 40 acres, and it's not a flat 40 acres. There's a lot of different little biomes that are doing different work. Here, okay. Watch out, buddy. Close up this gate behind me without running Brody over. Crossing it. There we go. All right, cows are in. Happy as can be. Brody's over there playing. All right, let's go to the other location where I think we need to put a glamping area. All right, just gonna go back through the meadow. Okay, here we are back through the meadow. There's the pond over there. Here's my wedding trees. Now I'm gonna go behind where the wedding trees are. Try not to get hit by the sprinklers. Now we don't have any animals in here just yet, so here's a good example of kind of the undergrowth that you get in these oak forests. You can see the difference where the cows have been and where they haven't been. We'll get there. We just need more animals, more management, more fences, more everything, right? It's always more. But I think that this area another marijuana or cannabis grow back here that is going to go away. And I think this area here is perfect for glamping as well. There's a lot of space back here. We could put lots of tents and make people really comfortable back here. Watch the turkeys. Oh, can you see the turkeys? Okay, so there's a little bit more back here. Brody, here, come on. Good boy. Brody loves to chase turkeys. See, all this area back here is glamping area, I think. And pasture. You know, we can run our ruminants back here. There's a little stream that comes through. I mean, it's stunning. To me, it's stunning, and I want to share it with the world. And there's the stream again. Now up the hill on the other side of the stream is our fence line, and that would be our westmost neighbor. They also have Highland cattle and some goats, although I don't know how many goats. Maybe a sheep as well. Brody, here. Hey. Brody, here. Come on. Good boy. What I'll do is come and cross the stream and go up that west line. Watch out, Brody. It'd be really neat if you could smell as we drive through. This is all mint and it just smells amazing. Yeah, I wish you could smell, because the fragrance is unbelievable. And I saw a turkey feather back here. I love to pick them up because they are just beautiful. Okay, let's get through here. Oh, it smells so good. Kind of an example, looking back through the trees toward the meadow. We just came out of that little forest over there. Now we're across the stream and we're going to go up the fence line up here. This is the neighbor's fence line, obviously. Watch out, buddy. entrance. And Brody's after a turkey again. Oh, my stakes fell out. So we'll come down, drive back to the meadow. To get it? No. Bummer. So now here you can see dead ahead of us is the cattle enclosure. And then as we come down, we'll turn left and see the meadow again. Where the creek comes into the property, runs underneath this culvert that's in the road, and then comes out over here to outline the meadow. This area is quite deep. There's a little shelf there. You can get into the water, and then it's over my head for sure. And there's a fish right there. A couple of them. I don't know if you can see it or not. They like to hang out there and catch the flies that come through. There's plenty of food for them. Oh, and some fly catchers. What do you think, Brody? You go swimming? No? Okay. Little stream keeps coming through. It's real shallow here. By the water. Whoa. I love this little place here. Oh, I see the blackberries coming. Look at that. That is going to be delicious right there. This little tree that was uprooted, and now it's a haven for bullfrogs and fish. Come, buddy. Well, back to one of my favorite places to just kind of be. Just sit and be. Right here at the pond. Later today I'll probably go float in the pond. It's not too hot just yet. So that is a pretty decent tour of Chantilly Ranch. You can see everything behind me. I'll just kind of spin around here while I'm talking. So this meadow, we've decided that we want to open it to the public and have people come and enjoy this spot. We want to have glamping. We will also run cows, maybe. For the moment, we'll run cows. And then we're working on finding the seed herd for our goats and then potentially sheep as well, so that we can be good neighbors and make sure that we're not causing a fire problem as best we can. I mean, we can't stop it completely, but we can certainly try. And trying to brush hog this stuff it's impossible because it's on a hill, and I mean, a lot of it is on a hill, and we've got to put animals there to help us with it. So, all right, that is Chantilly Ranch, kind of in a nutshell.